Okay, hello everyone. Kim and I are in the house. We are here for this short little quick live stream. We want to talk about Kim's work, Kim's new book, and her class is coming up on Saturday, which I'm really excited about.
Me
Hey,
too.
Kim.
Hi, good to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. And I am still at the end of my retreat in Ocean Shores, Washington. So I'm getting some ocean loving. I see the ocean right out the window here in front of me, and I didn't bring my gear with me, like my microphone and my light and everything. So I might have to move around a little bit to catch the sunrise because it's coming down right in front of me over the ocean, which is really cool. So digging that vibe.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I would be too. So thank you everyone for being here. Kim, share a little bit about your work and yourself. Now, we've talked many times on my channel before, where I interviewed you about your relationship with Yeshua and other things, and your amazing experiences. So, why don't you share a little bit about your work, if you would?
Yeah, thank you. I call myself a relational soul coach. And because I believe in our soul self, is what I like to say. Um, our soul self is pure, unconditional love, acceptance, and resilient. That's kind of my main theme. I believe in your resilience. I truly see you, I see your soul. We are not this body, we are the soul. And so the soul can witness the body, the soul can witness the ego, the soul can witness our experiences and not identify with them. When we start identifying with the ego and our body and our feelings rather than just witnessing our feelings and feeling them, that's when things go awry actually. So that's kind of a core main tenet of what I do with people. And um, kind of the first thing that I will do with anyone I'm coaching is establish this foundation in who are you. And so that brings me to my book.
It's I see it as backwards. Energetic signature. Yes, yes.
Yes, living in the power of my energetic signature. Because what I find is, if any sort of traumas happen to you, especially in childhood, but even just doing life and relationship, you can kind of lose your sense of self. And your sense of self is kind of the foundation from which you have confidence and can do life and make healthy decisions. And so that's what I believe is your energetic signature, the recipe you came in with. My personality is different than yours, Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we're both light workers, I would call us, we both have this different set of gifts that we were meant to be and do. And when you operate out of the innateness in which you were designed, it's just the most meaningful, fulfilling life. And so, yeah, a lot of people come to me just kind of having lost their way, or again, maybe they experienced childhood trauma. And so the first thing we do is we discover their energetic signature. And I do that in a variety of ways. One of my favorite ways is through the Enneagram. And so in my book, I basically introduce you to the Enneagram in a pretty profound way and walk you through the steps to discover which Enneagram type you are, because there's 9 types. And the Enneagram will tell you what excites you, what drives you, what arouses fear, what threatens you, and how do you emotionally react. We all have these patterns, and it's just absolutely amazing when people recognize the pattern with which they've been operating out of. And then I obviously share, like, what are some healthy traits of your Enneagram and unhealthy traits, because awareness, we got to shine some light on the shadows so
Mm-hmm.
we can be aware of them. And
Can
and
I
once
interrupt you
yeah,
for just one
go
second,
ahead.
Kim? So, can you explain to us what exactly is an Enneagram?
Well, it was designed, by someone. And I think whenever things like this are created, I think that they are definitely from the divine,
Hmm.
because it's proven to be so incredibly helpful. So I would call it another way of understanding personality, kind of like astrology. How do we know
Okay.
astrology? Somebody from long ago, or groups of people, received these divine downloads to understand, what does it mean to be a Virgo sun and a Pisces moon and a Leo rising? What does all that mean? It has meaning behind it. And when you get in tune with your astrology, which is another aspect of my book, I do hit on the astrology elements as well, because I found them to be so powerful. So Enneagram is just another way of looking at that. And just to give you an example of the 9 types. So there's reformer, helper, achiever, individualist, investigator, loyalist, enthusiast, challenger, and peacemaker. So those are the 9. And we do have a little bit of all of them in us, but
Hmm.
one of them is definitely a main trait. And as I walk you through it, you will definitely see your trait just come to life. And it's just affirming. I mean, for me, as someone who experienced trauma, these were incredible tools for me to get grounded in who I was, because I believe trauma definitely steals your identity. You're so afraid to ever experience those traumatic feelings that you start to have all these coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms that aren't really you. They actually come from a wounded ego within. And so you're operating out of fear instead
Hmm.
of out of love, your true soul self. And so I help you go back and operate out of love, out of your true soul self. So that's
Yes.
Enneagram. The thing that's really cool is, spirit leads me with these different things. And I love the elements, the astrology elements. I was led to them more than I was getting really um, in the trenches of the signs. Spirit was basically saying, people's lives are full and busy, and I want a way for you to connect with them and teach them in a way that they can grab it more quickly. And I'm kind of the same way. And so I started doing charts like this.
Wow. Okay.
So we each have, like, I don't know, is it 16, 15, or 16 um, aspects of us, our sun, our rising, our moon, our Mercury, our Venus, like all of that. And there's a sign for each one. And when you put the element there,
Hmm.
I guess I'm a visual learner. It just made it come to life. It, instead of just seeing it written on paper, well, you've got an earth sign there and then a fire sign, or just, like Virgo, Leo, Pisces, that's mine. Just reading it, it didn't give it value to me. But when I saw the earth sign, and I have this little earth symbol, and the fire and the water and the air, when I could see them, I could feel them. And it was like, oh, wow. And so when I do people's charts, I have to tell you, ever since I started doing this with every client, I'm blown away at our mixtures. We are such unique, amazing mixtures. No one is alike.
Hmm.
Exactly. You can find things in common with people, like a person that I wrote a children's book series with. We both have the same first 3 signs, and there's so many similarities, but obviously there's a lot more signs and there's differences. But like, I was coaching someone the other day, and her first 6 signs were Scorpio, water. Her first 6. I'd never seen that before. And just things like that have been happening. Or someone came to me wanting an energy healing session, because I do those too. And she was just lacking no motivation, and she was depressed, and she was like, I've lost myself. I don't know where I went. And I did her chart, and I saw all this fire, all this Sagittarian fire. I was like, oh my gosh, you've lost your passion. Let's get your
Mm.
passion back. And just her knowing that is me, it was so validating to her. So we found her again. And so then she could be more confident about, yes, as someone who has all this fire and all this Sagittarius in me, I have to honor that. And she wasn't honoring her fire. So of course she was depressed. So that's really fun. I can go on and tell you the other parts. Do you want me to tell you the other parts I do in the book?
Um, let's talk about the class.
Oh, let's talk about the class.
What will you be sharing this type of? Okay, that's what I thought, right?
Yes, I'm going
Yeah,
to walk. That's why I have in the instructions, please come to my class. You're going to love it. I promise you, you'll love it and just walk away feeling so validated and affirmed in who you are. And then you can show up in the world really powerful and tender, both, and just be yourself. And there's nothing better than being yourself. So we will walk through the Enneagram. And I just find the group setting is so fun because we learn from each other. And the
right.
sharing is one of my favorite things. I love my group coaching classes. They're honestly my favorite. So we're going to do that together, and then we'll look at astrology elements. We will look at chakras. Gotta love the
Nice.
chakras.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then the final thing we also take a quick peek at is human design. That's something that a lot of people don't know about yet, but it's a very powerful tool as well because you really understand how you use your energy with human
Hmm.
design. So, yeah, all the elements together just really help create this picture of you. And then you'll find, like, this is what gets really great is the book really comes in handy because you can walk through your partner, your best friend, your kids, their Enneagram and their astrology elements, and understand them better. I will do family charts, and that has been so incredible. I'll just quick share this too because it was just really amazing. A good friend of mine lost her mom in May, and it was just one of those, really devastating for the family. And I even went to the celebration of life, and I was just like, I want to be like your mom. Okay. She was so inspirational with her love. Well, I run their charts, and her chart literally, she was the grounding, loving force in her family.
Hmm.
And it was like, no wonder everyone's devastated right now. Um, it was her time to go, and they will all adjust and step into themselves more. But I really saw her role in everyone's lives with her chart. And it was really a blessing to my friend to see that it's almost like the validation of, yeah, that is why she did feel so amazing and was so grounding and just really like everyone could count on her. And everyone that stood up at the celebration of life just kept sharing of how they felt so close to her. And I mean, everyone thought they were the special one. So, yeah, so that's another really cool thing to know.
That's nice. Can I ask you to speak more to the human design part of it?
Yeah.
That's fascinating to me.
Okay. Have you heard of it before?
I've heard of human design, but I don't know that much about
Okay.
how you can dive into it, how ways to dive in.
Okay. So I have my favorite sites that I use to plug in your birth date. You have to plug in your birth date, location, and time. And then it, boom, gives you your answer. And the thing that I'm good at doing, and this is again one of my gifts, I'm a Virgo sun. I am very good at taking information, organizing it, and actually synthesizing it and using it for my purposes and using it with clients. And it works so well that I decided I have to make a book. So that's how this book came because um, I want people to have this quick access tool. So like if you need to understand yourself or someone, you can grab my book, open it up, and boom, I have the descriptions whittled down to like almost the bare bones, but the profound bare bones. So you really don't have to go running, doing some major research to understand it all. It's for that person that might be short on time, but they really want to grow a bit and they want to learn more about themselves and do better in life.
Hmm.
So, the human design, the way I describe is how you muster, use, and manifest your personal energy in the universe. And so I want you to really tune into what I'm saying with your personal energy, how you use energy. That is what makes human design slightly different than anything else. So there's 4 types. There's a manifester, a generator slash manifest generator. It's a strange term. I think they should have chose a different term, but they didn't. A projector and a reflector. So each of those 4 use energy slightly differently. So to give you an example, I am a generator. Generators are like that term. We need to generate. I mean, look at me. I created this book. I create lots of workbooks that really help people understand difficult topics in a quick, clear, concise way, but also then to go deep with it. I'm a generator. I have to create. So I create in my creation process, just being me, because I want to create. I wake up wanting to create. I manifest through that, through my generation.
Okay.
And synchronicities happen for me as a generator. So the thing about a generator as well is I wake up with energy. So when people talk about you should do your meditation in the morning, I laugh at them. I said, no, not if you're a generator. Absolutely not. So that's why I think human design is really important. This could help you too. So I believe Oprah Winfrey is a manifester. That's how she uses her energy. I am a generator. I believe Anthony Robbins is a generator slash manifest generator. And I believe if you've heard of Kyle Cease, he's absolutely a projector. There's hardly any reflectors. They're only 1% of society. I've yet to meet one. So that's interesting. I don't really talk about that one much because it's so bizarre. It's very different. And I can explain that in a second. But that can help you tune in. So, for example, I was coaching someone the other day and she's sharing with me. So I'll get intuitive hits too, right? And she's sharing with me and she's just absolutely exhausted. And she wants to heal her different various things she's got going on. And I just feel she was not using her energy wrong. And I just knew it was going to be revealed by her human design. And what do you know? She's a projector. Now, I haven't explained that to you yet, but everything she was doing was what a manifestor does. So, of course, she's going to be exhausted because you have to honor the way your energy works. So, for example, as a generator, if I forced myself to stay in bed in the mornings, I don't feel well. I do not feel well because I'm after I've slept and rested, I have energy and my energy is sustainable. Now, yes, I take breaks because I'm a highly sensitive person as well and empathic, but it's different for me. I wake up with energy. It's fun. My friend who's a projector, we basically describe if I wake up, my energy's like that, like this. It's really high when I first wake up, and then there's a slow decline throughout the day. But by the end of the day, the decline sharpens and my energy is much lower. Now, if I know I have an interview or something like this, I will take a nap prior just so my energy will be revitalized again. She,
Okay.
as a projector, she wakes up, her energy is low. They do not have sustainable energy. They need time. They actually gain their energy as the day goes on. And
Mm-hmm.
she says her high point is around 2. And that's when I'm starting to drop.
Okay.
So,
So do you, excuse me for interrupting, but so do you help people find this in the class? Find what their, is that the human design part of it?
yeah,
Generator or manifester or, okay, so
yeah.
you help them figure that out in the class?
Well,
You guide them through
it's
that?
best to say come having plugged in the information, but then to learn about it and then talk about it in a more
Mhm.
detailed way because I
Uh-huh.
have the descriptions here. So yeah, and again, so the Enneagram it was going to take a little bit bigger chunk of our time in the class because it does cover more information and it's a little bit longer of a process, but it's a very fun process. It's almost like peel the onion and get at you. Where
Sure.
this is more like astrology element, it's more direct. but I kind of explain it through the lens in which spirit has taught me. And then intuitively too, whenever I'm coaching anyone, so whether it's video or in person, I'll get intuitive hits while we're talking and help them
Hmm.
understand themselves more. And then of course people have questions too. So yeah,
Right.
a projector does not have sustainable energy. So that is really, that's, see how important that is. So important to know, so important to know, because you could be, I tend to coach a lot of projectors who are not using their energy properly, and they're
You know,
absolutely exhausted.
that's so important to know where, what your human design is, I guess you could say, so that you can walk through your life using your energy signature in
Yes,
its best potential. That makes so much sense.
but otherwise you will be exhausted. So I can give an example. My
So
boyfriend,
not only exhausted, but maybe out of balance, which comes with it, right?
completely out of balance.
And not understanding how to create life or co-create life, not
Yes,
understanding why you feel so drained, why you might feel, ups and downs like crazy and things like that. That makes sense.
absolutely, it does. So
Mm.
it's helped me too. So for example, my boyfriend is a manifester, and that's different than a generator. And manifestors are only 9% of the population, so they're a smaller percent. And the manifester, they just know. Okay. They just, I mean, again, I'll share more in the class, but they just know, and they have this confidence that is unshakable. So there's more of a solidity to a manifester, and they don't apologize for who they are or what they do. They just know. And so I can tell you, my boyfriend's one, and if I didn't know this, I would have made him wrong, because it's so different than me, the way he
Mm.
uses energy.
Mm-hmm.
And invariably, when I start coaching couples, so first off, I never coach couples together in the beginning. I have to see you separately and get solid in you. That's first
Mm-hmm.
thing. Get solid in you and who you are and your strengths, because number one, they haven't been honoring themselves. So they got to start honoring themselves first. And then you can look at what's the signature of your mate. And we're always making each other wrong. I can just prompt that is, if I were to tell you what are people doing wrong in their relationships, is they're making each other wrong. They're
So when you
not.
say making each other wrong, you mean not being able to understand or accept the other person's energy signature because you just don't understand why they are the way they are. Why can't you be more like me, kind of
Why
thing?
don't you get up in the morning and get going with me and do this hike? It's like, well, I'm a projector. I don't have the energy yet. I'm not like the Energizer Bunny in the morning, which is me. So, like my boyfriend and I, so as a manifester, they're kind of different. They can turn their energy on and off when they need it or want it, but they will still be the type that'll want to lay in bed. And so I go off and do my thing, and I'll come back for us to, cuddle and stuff. So
So
you
then
you
you
work
have
it
to
out.
find it. Yeah. So then you, at least when you have that knowledge, awareness is always the key, as Yeshua tells me. Then you have that knowledge, which gives you the tool, and then you find the tools to be able to find some kind of a balance between it and a happy medium, right?
I just, yes, and I just believe, I honestly 100% believe if every couple did this book, we would solve almost all of their challenges. I just see it too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really what's happening.
It's
And
amazing.
yeah, everyone wants to be honored for who they are. But again, like if they are a little confused with who they are, because that's the thing too. A lot of times I'll hear someone say, well, that's just the way I am. And they're referring to one of their ego traits. It's like, well, no, that's your ego. So,
You notice that some people say that's just how I am. It's usually a negative trait, what we would call a negative trait, or something that we don't know how to change, or we don't want to change. Yeah, that
it's
type of thing.
sometimes it's an ego defense mechanism, is what, and
Yeah,
the thing is, you've just carried it around for so long that you
right.
think, see, that's where again, I feel like it steals your identity. Ego steals your identity
Fear.
because you
Yeah.
think that's who you are. It's not who you are.
Mm-hmm. And the ego has that fear of losing its identity, and yeah, and
Yes.
then we get caught up in that. We get sucked in.
Yeah, ego is
So
very convincing.
yeah, totally. So people that are watching, you're welcome, very welcome to ask any questions of Kim. This is going to be a short video. We just want to say hello and share a little bit about Kim's work and let everyone know about her class and her book, of course. So people can still take your. I'm not saying, of course they can, but taking your class with if they don't purchase the book right away is it's not going to
Absolutely.
be a deterrent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't
Okay.
need to have the book to come to
Okay.
the class.
Yes. All right. All right. Cool. Thank you. So your class is Saturday,
Hmm.
right? At 11
10
a.m.,
o'clock.
10
I think
a.m.,
it's 10 to 12. Yep.
10 to 12. Okay. That
Yep.
is Pacific and Arizona time. And if I do the math right, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Is that right?
Yes, I think it's
Okay.
3 hours. It's difficult this
Three
time of
hours.
year because I forget when daylight savings time is because I live in Arizona and we do not change.
Yeah.
We
So
stay.
we're on the same. You're the smart ones, let me tell you. Okay, so if only the rest of the country could do that. So we're on the same time zone now, Pacific
We
and
are
Arizona.
now, but we won't be in a few weeks.
Next month, right?
That's what's silly when I have people that I deal with in Portland and some that I deal with in Colorado, and so that's what happens for Arizona. Like you and I are the same now, but in a few weeks we will not be, and I'll then be the same with Colorado. It's so stupid.
It's confusing. They like to keep us confused. So if you want to check out Kim's class, go to Kumara Academy that is sponsoring her class. Kumara, KUMARA ACADEMY.com. And you'll find all the information there and where to register. And very affordable for her class. It's
Yeah.
only $44. I believe I do have information in the details. If not, I'll make sure that I do. And yeah, I think you will really enjoy it. She's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I think you'll be surprised at how powerful it is to know your energy signature.
Great. Great. Yeah, I'm excited. Oh, hey, Shelly. So I see Shelly is here. Hey, Shelly, how are you? Good to see you here. If anyone has any questions, that would be great. Is there
I'll
anything else you
share,
wanted to share? Go ahead.
yeah, I'll share a little more just to get people enticed and excited. So
Sure.
with the Enneagram 2, what's kind of neat is it does divide up into like sections. So if you're a 1, 8, or 9, your underlying emotional theme is anger or rage. If you're a 2, 3, or 4, your underlying emotional theme is shame, which is you feel bad about yourself, you have self doubt. And if you are a 5, 6, or 7, your underlying emotional theme is fear, worry, anxiety, mistrust of self and others. So, again, this is kind of sharing one of the more so called negative traits, but it's your main underlying reactive emotional theme. And it's really powerful to know that. So, again,
Hmm.
like, I can have anger and I can have fear, but my first underlying emotional theme is going to be self-doubt, meaning especially when I had a lot to heal.
Hmm.
So now that I'm kind of over that hump and I actually help others heal, I don't experience it so much. So that's positive news for you out there that it diminishes greatly. But when I did, like I took everything personally and I would have self doubt immediately. That would be my first feeling. Where if you're a 1, the first reaction you're going to have is anger. Like, how dare you? That is very different. So, again, if you understand your mate or your best friend or your coworker or whoever, that their first reaction is anger and not self-doubt, because I remember seeing everything through the lens, my own hurt lens. So I made the assumption that everyone else had shame and self-doubt too. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. So the underlying emotional theme is really like gigantic. And then there's another way, it's called centers. So you discover your center and your first internal response to process a decision, experience, or communication. And so my center is feeling. But in 8, 9, or 1, they're an instinctive gut feeling, gut, not feeling, gut. And
Mm-hmm.
then 5, 6, and 7 is thinking, or they're in their mind. They have to think it through. So again, I still use my instincts and my mind, but my very first internal response is, how does it feel? So again, it's really powerful to know that stuff. It makes me want
Yes.
to figure out which one you are. Do you know which one you are on the Enneagram?
No, I don't.
You
I
don't?
can
Oh,
guess, but if I see the traits.
yeah, we got to figure that out. That'd be fun. I'm a 4, so kind of makes me wonder if you're a 4 too. Just
And what is
just
for again?
at glance. The authentic individualist. Maybe not. We'd have to walk you through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, no questions tonight?
I don't see one yet. That is okay. All right. That means that you answered all their questions.
I did kind of talk a lot.
No, no, you didn't. No, you didn't talk a lot. You just shared. You shared really well. So you answered people's questions. Amazing. So yeah, it sounds like a really, really amazing class. And I hope that people watching will get over there and take Kim's class and learn about your authentic signature. How do I find how do I find my number? Oh,
Yes, Shelly. So I noticed she said she missed the first half of the show. Yeah, Shelly, you missed the first half, where I went into a little more detail. Take the class with me, and it's an unfolding. It's really fun. I walk you through the process of finding your number, and um, and then again, you might have missed this part too. It's really fun because then you can find out your partner's number and your children's number, and then understand each other so much better. And she did miss out on basically, you're going to know what excites you, what drives you, what arouses fear, what threatens you, and how do you
mhm.
emotionally react. So yeah, come join
Yeah.
us on
Yes.
Saturday at 10, Shelly.
Yes. Be good to see you there, Shelley. All righty then. Thank you, Kim, for being here. It's awesome to see you again. And thanks everyone for watching. And I will see you Saturday. And hopefully I'll see everyone
Yes,
Saturday.
thank you
Yeah.
so much. Good to be
Hmm.
here. All right, have a good
All
night,
right.
everyone.
All right. Take care. All right.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.